Very good evening, everyone. This is the C4FM weekly net. This is a net that meets every Wednesday evening at this time, 2100 Eastern or 100 UTC. And the net is a result of a roundtable conversation between three hams, one in BC, one in Ontario, and one in New Brunswick, who wanted to bring Canadians together from coast to coast and those abroad so that we could create new friendships and share ideas and technical information. This is VE3BF. My name is Dennis. I'm located in Ottawa, and I will be your net control station for this evening. This net is conducted through both digital and analog modes and is linked through various repeaters nodes on the WiresX network via room 40678, giving licensed amateurs across Canada and around the world a chance to participate. This is a directed net, so all traffic and comments shall be directed through this station. Before taking any check-ins, I'll ask if there are, we'll recognize Steve, VA3MPS, who is Marine Mobile this evening. And we've got Jack, VA3YJC in there as well in Ottawa. And I'll ask if there are any other stations that are mobile, portable, or otherwise cannot stay for the entire net. Please call now.
Victor Alpha 3 MPS. I'll be in and out.
Okay there, Steve, I recognize that. Just had a little bit of interference from the analog side of the repeater, so all I got was Steve's call. Was there any other stations that are in and out, portable, mobile, or otherwise can't stay for their entire net?
Victor Echo 1, India, Quebec.
All right, I've got VE1IQ. Good evening, and I'm looking for my list from last week. Sorry, I don't remember your name. I think it's Brian. Am I correct on that? I'm going by memory here, but it's a couple of cobwebs in the memory bank. VE1IQ, come on aboard and go ahead.
You're correct on that. It's Brian here, Greenwood, Nova Scotia, and I make a big hop across the Parsbro for the repeater here, but it seems to work, so I guess that's the main thing. My voice is going a little bit, so I'm here anyway. VE1IQ.
All right, Brian. Well, I'm glad I remembered the name, and good to have you aboard for a second time, sir. And welcome back. Let's go to Big Rideau Lake in the Rideau Heritage Waterway, or the National Heritage Waterway. Good evening, Steve. Good to hear you, and glad you're making it into the repeater there using your handy-talkie. I assume you're also using your J-pole. Go ahead.
VE3BF, VA3MPS. Good evening, Dennis and the group. Yes, that's correct. On the handy-talkie FT2D, and on the club, not J-pole, but the little one we made there, the cable one. So crystal clear, great connection. I'm very pleased. And yes, we're up here enjoying the fine weather today. Beautiful sunset, almost complete now. Also VA3YJC, I believe, Jack. I was listening and I knew I recognized that voice, and had a mental block, but good to hear you. So that's about it, Dennis. Just wanted to give you a check-in, and I will be listening in for a while, but that's about it. I have some things to do here. So thank you for taking my check-in, and turn it back to you. This is VA3 MPS Steve in Rideau Ferry Harbor, Marine Mobile.
All right, very good, Steve. Well, thanks for checking in with us. I also have a digital check-in here from Ted, VE7LE. Ted is also Marine Mobile this evening. He's on a ship, Delta Port, but a little bit too far away to check in vocally, or digitally. So he's doing it through type on the message board on the Yaesu WiresX. So, Ted, if you're listening, welcome to the net, sir, and I hope you had a good cruise and trip to Dayton. Anyway, tonight's topic, I don't really have anything to take on some comments on the new gear that was announced at Dayton. If anyone's got something to say about that, that would be kind of cool. Seems to be a lot of new toys, a little bit of simplification on the Wires X for those who travel, which is kind of cool. And a couple of neat new radios that I've yet to read up on all the specs, but exciting nonetheless. So Yaesu having something, I guess, SDR driven, and Kenwood, I've not read the spec at all, but a rig between the flagship 990 and the ever-popular 590. So if anybody's got some comments on those or any other new products, please come forth. Let's open it up to the Atlantic provinces. Anyone in Atlantic Canada wishing to check in, please call now.
VE1 HUL. VE1 Zulu X-ray. VE1 Lima Victor.
All right, we'll take those gentlemen in. VE1 HUL, good evening, Dave. VE1 Zulu X-ray, good evening, Brad. VE1 LV, good evening, Hal. So we'll bring in Jack. He was there a little while ago, and we'll bring him in right away. VA3YJC, good evening, Jack. How was your net this evening? How are conditions on 80 meters?
VE3BF, VA3YJC. Well, it was not very, very well attended tonight. We only had 16 check-ins. The band held together very nicely, but as you know, it's meat burning season and too nice to go inside to play radio. And so we had a good net, and that was all fine and dandy. Dennis, I think there was a guy from Orleans, pedestrian mobile, that you may have missed. Other than that, I'm going to be out early tonight, going to go sit on the back porch with Sue, have a wee bit of a drink, and then we got to bring the cat in tomorrow to the vet. So it'll be an early morning for hunting for cat and try and pack him up in the carrier. He does not like that. Go ahead.
All right, very good, Jack. Hopefully it's nothing serious, or it's just a checkup, hopefully, and everything is good with the owner of your house.
Oh yeah, it's you know, the rabies shot, and we have I guess there's a couple of shots he needs every 2 years, and he just does not like to go there. So it's all good. I think Sue is I think she's more uptight than the cat, but we'll live through it in the morning, and we'll have a wonderful day. And so I guess that's about all I got for you tonight. Thanks for calling me in. 7-3.
All right, Jack. Well, thanks for joining us. And that is a nice cat you've got there. He lets you live in his house and everything, and he even lets you put an antenna on the roof. So all good, sir. Thanks very much. And we'll call in that station that was portable in Orleans. That's either David or it is... who else would be portable? Must be David. The portable station in Orleans. Please come now. All right, David, that was VE3ZZU. Unfortunately, anyone outside of Ottawa was not able to hear him because David was in the analog mode and the repeaters in digital. But I did get your copy there, David. Thank you for joining us on the net this evening, and I'm glad that you're able to get your walk in tonight before any of the heavy humidity starts. So, again, thanks for being with us, and you're sounding good there, sir, in the analog mode. Over.
VE3 Bravo Fox, VE3ZZU. I should be in digital now. I had it in Delta November mode with the bar over top, so I assumed that I was in digital, and then surprised that I wasn't. Anyways, I'll be listening along for a while on the net. Back to you, VE3ZZU, David, in Orleans North.
All right, very good, David. Well, you were in digital that time, and everyone across Canada heard you there. Sounding good, sir. Good signal into the repeater from your handy-talkie this evening. Thanks for being with us, David. have a good rest of your walk. Enjoy. Anyone else? Quebec or Atlantic actually, where am I here? I guess I got to come back to the top of my list here. Getting all disorganized this evening. Dave, good evening. VE1HUL. Come on aboard, sir.
Good evening, Dennis, and all those on the net. I heard Brian from just down the road, VE1IQ, in Greenwood there, check in a little earlier. And I think you missed Scott, VE1CHL. I heard him check in there when you first asked for the Atlantic guys. Anyways, not a bad day in Truro today. A little rain overnight and early this morning, but it turned out halfway decent. But at least we're not as bad off as they are in northwestern or northeastern New Brunswick. They're getting snow there today, and I guess Newfoundland is in for 15 to 30 centimeters in the Gander area, so could be a lot worse, I guess. Anyways, not much else to report from Truro. It's 5 degrees out now, and they're calling for sun and about 14 or 15 for tomorrow. So good to be getting out and getting around. The only problem is the black flies are starting to be buggy this time of year. Anyways, we'll say 7-3 to you, Dennis, and all those on the net, and we'll go back to standby. VE1 to HUL, over.
All right, very good, David. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Good to hear you, sir, and sorry to hear about the black flies. We haven't seen any in my area yet, but I'm sure they're coming. And well, I guess we'll try and be ready for them. I recognize VE1CHL. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, Dave, and we'll put him on the bottom of the list here to call soon. Good evening to Brad, VE1 Zulu X-Ray. Did you get your antenna mounted on your Jeep, sir?
VE3 Bravo Foxtrot from VE1 Zulu X-Ray here in Two Island, Pardersville. Very good evening, Dennis, and very good evening right across Canada. Good to hear Brian check in there. I think he checked in last week there too. And a cool night here, Dennis. It's only +4. They're forecasting 15 to 30 centimeters of snow in Gander, Newfoundland. And looks like they might get it too. And yes, we got the antenna on the Jeep. We still got a little bit to do. We've been busy the last few days there. Actually, we're up to a reader site today, and this repeater site, V1 VFP there, her laptop went down overnight there. We don't know really what happened to it, but it's up and running again. And I guess the last time we was up there, it was in November, so that web switch we have up there connected to the internet really helps us out there, Dennis. And I listened to 80 meters on it on the Power Heel screwdriver antenna, and it sounds pretty good. I still got to install the electrical component to rise it up and down. But that's pretty simple. Thanks for checking me in, Dennis, and have a great evening there. VE3 Bravo Foxtrot, VE1 Zulu X-Ray in Two Island, Pardersville.
All right, very good. Very good, Brad. Thanks very much for joining us this evening. Good to hear you, sir. And I have not been on the radio a whole heck of a lot lately, and actually I will not be for the next little bit because I'm heading off to the trailer site tomorrow morning. So on that note, I'll mention anyone in Ottawa listening that next week's net will be available locally through my own node. And if you don't have the frequency, you can send me a private message or an email or something, and we'll reveal that frequency to you. But it will be on a low power, so it'll be limited range. So the net won't be broadcasted through Ottawa all that lively next week. I apologize for that, but we may be getting some thunderstorms, so I have to take the precautions. Let's go to Hal, VE1LV. Good evening, Hal, and how are you this evening?
VE3BF, and the net, this is VE1LV. Very good evening, Dennis. And Jason told me to let you know that he would be checking in this evening. Doing some, he's doing some packing tonight. He's taking off tomorrow for 7 days down to Bermuda. And the X-Files going with him on that trip, so that'll be enjoyable for both of them. And he has a gazebo over his hot tub, and a robin built a nest up next to the roof, and he went and mounted a camera just viewing it, so we get to see the nest. So far she was on it quite a bit today, but left later this afternoon, and nothing, no action other than she was setting for a while, but I guess no eggs were laid. Unfortunately, the public can't view that, so I've been trying to get him to put it on YouTube, but I guess he doesn't want to do that. Other than that, I guess everything's all fine here, Dennis, and good weather, and we're getting burned up with the sun, and the grass and our weeds are doing well. V3BF. This is VE1LV.
Well, that sounds pretty neat. Something to watch there. I'm sure you're enjoying that, Hal. Thanks for joining us this evening. Let's go, staying in Truro, let's go say hello to Scott. VE1CHL, VE3BF. Come on aboard, sir.
VE3BF, VE1CHL. Very good evening, Dennis, and everyone that's listening across this great country. Sorry you missed last week. We've been on the go the last week. I've been adding up the kilometers. It's over 1,000 kilometers in the last week, so between the Cobra and my son's shed project, I've been making numerous trips in opposite directions. Anyhow, we got the shed finished, and the Cobra, well, we're getting that back together. The body should be going on it this weekend. And I finally got some time to work on my antenna disconnect, so we've got that just about ready to mount on the wall and get that installed there, Dennis. Hope everyone has a great week. 7-3, VE3BF, VE1CHL.
All right, very good, Scott. Thanks for joining us this evening, and sounding good here in the Canada room tonight, as everyone is. That brings me to the bottom of this little list, so let's see who else is out there. Call in the province of Quebec and anyone else in Atlantic Canada. Now let's open it up to Ontario. Anyone in Ontario or East, please call now.
VE3LC.
November, Jimmy Windsor.
VE3KAE, Alan and Kempville. All right, I think I've caught up here. Good evening to Barry, VE3NA. I think I heard James in there, VA3JPS. I have Norm, VE3LC. I've got Tim, VA3TGN. And I've got Alan, VE3KAE. Did I miss anyone?
Victor Echo 3, Uniform India, Mike.
And very good evening to Mike in Smiths Falls, VE3UIM. All right, let's go to the top of that list. Good evening, Barry, VE3NA in Greeley, south of Ottawa. How are you today, sir?
Well, we're doing just fine, thanks, Dennis, and very good evening to all on board so far tonight. Boy, oh boy, the weeds are very healthy this year. Trying to keep them at bay, but it's almost a losing battle. But they'll go away in the fall when the snow comes. What's been going on? Well, this past week we helped doing some booth duty at the Canada-wide Science Fair at Carleton University. And the STEM Expo, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Norm will have more to say about this as well. But holy smokes, RAC had a booth there, and we were doing booth duty to promote amateur radio, and we got quite a bit of traffic. People stopping by to talk, and Norm had his key and Morse code generator, and the kids were getting quite a kick out of sending their. We tried to get them to send their name in CW, and man, some of them picked up on CW really, really quickly. Anyhow, it was quite a show. Lasted 3 days. Boy, they sure know how to charge for parking at Carleton. Anyhow, that's it for this go around. Dennis, if I think about anything else, I'll chime in at the end of the net. The E3BF and the group, this is the E3NA, Barry and Greeley.
Oh, Barry, you got me chuckling there on a couple of things, and the one that, you will win the battle of over the weeds as soon as the snow flies. That's a pretty good analogy. I've lost the battle in my backyard. If I didn't have weeds, I wouldn't have anything that would be green, and it's kind of nice, some yellow, some blue, a little bit of all kinds of colors there on what used to be a lawn. But being away most of the summer, it's a fight I'll never win. And, CW, the new FT8, what do you think of that? I'm sure Norm will have some comments in a minute, but first let's go to James, VA3 JPS. Good evening. Oh, wow, $800 US for a scanner. That sounds a little pricey, but I know I've played with, I've seen a couple of them, and they're pretty impressive. Not that particular model, but the older one. And thanks for the well wishes on the new purchases. For those of you don't know, I've recently acquired 2 new ATVs, one for myself and one for my wife. And we've done quite a bit of ATVing, James. We just never owned them. We've done some ATVing in South America, in Central America, and in Hawaii. We did some ATVing. That was before the lava flows, but. So we enjoyed our first trip this past weekend. We did a 60-kilometer trip from Cobden, Ontario to Pembroke, Ontario, and I guess we put a lot of sand down the drain of the shower afterwards, so that was kind of fun. Anyway. Norm, what do you think? FT8 CW, do you think CW will take over again and rule the amateur radio waves? Come on aboard, Norm, VE3LC, VE3BF.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, everybody on net, VE3LC here. I think Morse code will carry on. Maybe not quite with the same vigor that it did when I got my ham license in the 60s, in the early 60s. Of course, it was a compulsory requirement back then to not only get it for your ticket, but use it so you could get on phone and throw away your key. So once learned and used, then it kind of stayed with you. So anyway, there will be those people that will use it. It is a very efficient contesting mode. There is no doubt about it. And much more so than FT8. FT8 will not replace CW. Absolutely not. But there again, it remains to be seen how it goes forward. There won't be quite the number of aficionados in Morse code, I guess, as time rolls on. But there again, maybe ham radio days are numbered. Maybe the Earth's days are numbered shorter than we think. I have no idea. Anyway, we won't get into that discussion. No, I haven't been following the new equipment at all. I wasn't at Dayton. Haven't been for a few years now. But maybe next year we'll get back there. And yes, just a minute. Just to pick up on what Barry was saying, yes, we were at the Canada-wide Science Fair and STEM Expo, and it was a good showing. There was a lot of young people there and older people too. And we were telling all about amateur radio for those that were interested in listening. And a good many young folks were particularly interested in trying, learning Morse code or, seeing what it was all about. They had heard about it. And we had the Morse code chart there, if you will. We had a keyer. Actually, the keyer was embedded in a small QRP 40-meter transceiver. And they could pick that up. And amazingly enough, send out the code with this single lever paddles that I had. Quite well. A lot of them could. They got the hang of it very quickly. More so than perhaps some seasoned hands of some years on them. One young fella, he got pretty good at it, and then he went away, and then he brought his friends over to show them, and then he went away and brought some more friends over, and he kept returning to the booth. So I think we have a winner there for sure. Anyway, we'll wish everybody 7-3, and maybe next week we'll be on the air again. However, next Wednesday through the OVMRC, we're having a tour of CHU. So that should be a thrill for a lot. So anyway, that's. But I think we might be back in time for getting on the net here. 7-3 V3BF in the group V3LC.
Yeah, very good, Norm. Well, I will not be able to host the net next week. We'll get Jack if he's listening in there. I haven't even told him yet. But Jack, I see his call sign here. If you're listening, I'd love for you to do the net next week. And unfortunately, I won't be able to broadcast it through TWO, so it will only be available here in Barrhaven, in the west end of the city. Let's go to Tim, VA3TGN in Windsor. Good evening, Tim. Sounding good this evening. How are you today?
Oh, good evening, Dennis, and everybody on frequency. Nice to hear. I went down to Dayton, and I got an FD100 CF4 more, and I got what's the name of my little handy-talkie UHF.
Tim, you dropped out on us there. Heard congratulations on getting a new radio. You said something about a handy-talkie, and then we lost you. Are you still there, Tim?
Yeah, I slipped off the push-to-talk. Yeah, I got a bridge communication UHF and VHF portable, and I got batteries, and I got some connectors and hardware. It's a hard one to put your fingers on it.
Well, congratulations on the new gear there, Tim. Seems to be maybe having a little bit of an issue on the mic there a little bit, but got most of that. Glad that you got some new stuff, and I'm sure that's all you're going to be excited on learning how to use all the different controls on those new toys. And so congratulations on that. Certainly look forward to hearing some updates in the upcoming nets. Thanks for joining us this evening. Let's go to Kemptville, Ontario, VE3KAE. Good evening, Alan.
Oh, good evening, Dennis, and everyone on frequency this evening. Good evening to all. Well, congratulations to Tim there for his haul from Dayton. Maybe someday I'll get there. But it sounds like he's got some interesting things from there. And I did check out the new Yezu releases and whatnot, so, and I guess Kenwood had some things too, so it's all good. For me, my saga of hole digging and mast erecting still goes on. So I have successfully dug a hole, or at least cleared stones out of a place in the ground. And I'm deep enough to put them a mass post in, which I've done, and I've dumped in 5 bags of pea gravel and I think it's limestone dust, something like that, and tamped it down, and I'm probably going to need another 4 bags at least, so it's going to be an expensive little hole. However, the pipe is in there. It's vertical, more or less, and hopefully it'll be that way in the morning when I check it again. So a few more bags and I'll be done with that, and I'll continue work on my DX88 antenna and get that sorted and get it erected through the week. And I'm looking forward to getting that done. So good to hear everyone on the net tonight. Everything sounds wonderful. This digital mode is amazing. And that would be about it for me, Dennis. VE3BF, this is VE3, KAE, Elming, Kempville. Back to you.
All right, very good, Alan. Well, congratulations on plugging ahead there on the vertical, and look forward to hearing more about that in the weeks to come. Keep at it. It's really rewarding, especially when you turn on the radio and you make your first contact. That's when it really puts a smile on your face. Good stuff. Let's go to Smith Falls. Good evening, Mike, VE3UIM. How are you this evening?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. VE3BF in the group. This is Mike, VE3UIM in Smith Falls. Yeah, sorry I missed the net last week. Bit of a medical issue. But I did want to thank everybody that showed up at the Smith Falls Flea Market the week before, May 12th. And we had a good turnout. And Radio World was there, and they were quite thrilled with the attendance that they saw, and I guess the purchases that were made, including my dual band vertical that I hope to get up here shortly. We have 2 fusion repeaters here in Smith Falls, one on 2 meters and one on 70 centimeters. And so I'll be setting the new antenna up so that we can reconfigure between 2 meters and 70 centimeters and switch the room from 2 meters to 70 centimeters and whatever. But yeah, thanks all. And next year we're looking at roughly the same date, I think May the 11th next year. So we hope to see even more of you out there. Back to you there, Dennis. VE3BF, VE3UIM.
Well, very good, Mike. I know everyone I talk to is still talking about the Smith Falls event. I'm sorry that I was not able to attend this year, but next year we will definitely be there. Thanks for being with us, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Let me see here. We're at the bottom of the list, so I'll open it up to anyone in Manitoba, and I don't see any repeaters, but we'll also ask for anyone east of Manitoba. Please call now.
Victor Echo 3, Juliet Alpha. Victor Echo 3, Juliet Alpha.
Victor Echo 1, Delta Fox Golf. I'm east of Manitoba.
Victor Echo 2, Mike Hotel Mobile.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo, Victor Charlie.
Well, that was a good spread geographically. They've got VE3JJ8 just east of the Manitoba border. Good evening, Woody. VE1 Delta Fox Golf. Yeah, you qualify. You're pretty well east. Good evening. And let me see here. VE2 Mike Hotel, Mark. And VE3 BVH, again, Western Ontario, Northwestern Ontario. Good evening, Bill. I'll bring in the mobile first. VE2 MMH. Mark, how are you this evening? VE2 Mike Hotel. Mark, are you still there?
This is Victor Echo 2, Mike Hotel on mobile. And thank you very much for picking me up. Good evening to everybody on frequency. Been following 20 minutes or so on my way to work. And interesting subject this evening. I don't, I just don't have anything else to pass on. But yes, plenty of weeds and sundries of that kind of nature in my front lawn and the backyard. That's a big thing there with that. But
everybody has that good everywhere. They take the growth and proliferate much better than desired green grass. Also, too, Morse code and CW. I'm taking one, I'm taking the other. I don't think so, but I think in the good spirit and what becomes an amateur radio world where CW, then AM, SSB, FM, all these other modes of transmission and whatnot were occurring over the the infancy and the beginning. Is we have to strike a balance of being innovators, which our predecessors did and continue to do today. But we also got to be enriched by our culture, if you want to say, of amateur radio, which is.
Well, Mark, I'm afraid we didn't get a whole heck of a lot of that. We did capture some words here and there, but pretty rough copy getting into the repeater tonight for you, sir. So maybe we'll give you a shout in a little bit if you're getting into a closer proximity. If you're still in the car, we'll give you a shout after the next two callers here and see if we can get a better copy, a better read on you. Thanks for being with us, just in case we don't get to chat with you, sir. VE3JJA, good evening, Woody. How are things up your way? Are you being carried away by the black flies?
Dennis, no black flies here this evening. Just got in this afternoon. Actually, just had supper on the deck with Mike Zero Victor Tango Delta. We'll say hello to you. We just flew into Dayton. We just got back from Dayton about 1,300 hours our time today. Had a marvelous time down there. Just spent 2.5 days on the road coming back from Dayton. Also, by the way, before I forget, VE3 BBC, Bill was in there also. Just had a wonderful trip down, and our good friends from near Birmingham in the UK are with us here at the moment that we teamed up with and drove back together. I'm going to turn you over to Stuart right now, and here's a Mike Zero Victor Tango Delta.
This is Mike Zero Victor Tango Delta from Central United Kingdom, but obviously at Woody's place up in Sioux Narrows in Ontario. Lovely to hear you, and lovely to be on this net tonight. It's kind of strange for me to be here on this net because obviously normally it's far too late in the day to talk to you guys. But nice to participate tonight, and nice to speak to you, Dennis. I don't think we spoke for a little bit, but nice to hear you on. We had a great time down at Dayton and met up with Woody and his wife down there, and travelled back with them over the last couple of days, and ended up here this afternoon. So it's been a lovely week so far. We've got another week and a half in Canada, so we're here until Monday morning, and then travelling east back towards Toronto, ready for the flight back a week Saturday. So all going very, very well, and it's very, very interesting to listen to you guys chatting. From Mike Zero Victor Tango Delta, back to you, Dennis.
All right, very good, Stuart. Well, we have had a chat many months ago, and I don't remember if it was in this room or if it was in the Northern Ontario room, but you and I did have a chat, and I remember Woody telling me you were coming, and I hope you guys had fun at Dayton, and hopefully you still have a few pounds in your wallet so that you can make it home all right. Hi. Thanks for being with us, Stuart, and glad to have you checked in tonight. And Woody, yes, I did hear Bill, VE3BBC. He's on my list here coming up shortly. But first, let's go to Doug, VE1DFG. Good evening, sir. And how are you? And how are things in Sackville this evening?
Well, things in Sackville are not all that bad, actually. So, been looking around, had a little trouble getting connected to you this evening. But anyway, we did figure it out, and here we are. So, didn't make it to Dayton. We always wanted to go, never did. Hopefully sometime in my life I'll get there. I'm 71, so I guess I better hurry that process up before I get too old. But anyway, I've been doing a lot of hand functions here, putting all new cables, antenna cables up to the tower, put all the cabling underground, and completed my tilt-over tower. I started that 2 years ago, and I put the winch on this year and lowered it down because I also just bought a dual band antenna for these modes, digital modes, And that's what we're doing. And of course, the big thing today, I'm working on my walkway, which is all stone, and it's got to be revamped. It's been there for 20 years, and the frost has heaved it around, so I thought I better do it before I can't handle it all together. Just a little bit at a time. Interesting listening to everybody across the country. We'll be listening to the end. Say hi to everyone. It's wonderful that the gentleman from England is on there and visiting Canada, and he's got a great presence on the radio for sure. So anyway, I'm rambling, so I'll say 7-3 to all, and we'll be clear from Halifax. VE1 Delta, Foxtrot Golf. The name is Doug.
Yeah, very good, Doug. Well, glad to hear you're making progress on your tower project and get the dual band antenna up there. That sounds all good. We look forward to hearing updates. Thanks for joining in. Glad you were able to log into the room. It's good to have you, sir. Let's go back up north, northwest Ontario. That is VE3 BVC. Good evening, Bill.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and all on net tonight. And I'd like to say welcome to Northwest Ontario. Stu there. Yeah, beautiful day here. Almost hit 31 degrees. No wind tonight, and maybe we're going to get some rain tomorrow night. But other than that, the last 2 days have been pretty hot. And yeah, even the weeds are growing here. Nothing really for the net, Dennis. So back to net control, VE3BF, VE3BBC.
All right, very good, Bill. Thank you very much for being with us. And 31, that's an awful lot warmer than we got here. So maybe you're sending that our way. Who knows? Thanks for being with us, sir. I was expecting a small crowd tonight, but well, that's good. I was pleasantly fooled. I'm glad that everybody's with us. Let's go a little bit further west and open it up to Alberta, Saskatchewan, and east. Anyone out in the western provinces tonight wishing to check in, please call now. I think everyone in Alberta and Saskatchewan is grilling meat. Let's see if Mark is still out there. VE2 Mike Hotel. Mark, have we got a better copy on you? Try it again, sir.
Net control, this is Victor Echo 2 Mike Hotel. I hope this is a little bit better.
Yeah, I heard you for a second there. I'm not sure if you were just querying or if you dropped out, but it was a bit clearer, Mark.
I don't know. I got to check my rig. I don't know if there was something or yeah. Unfortunately, the traffic is very horrible today, and it's very. I was caught in an underpass completely. Usually, I can just pass through in about 10-15 seconds, but we actually came to a complete stop, and I was in the hole there. So hopefully it's better reception now. And certainly, yeah, it's. I would think CW is better than a little bit than FT, but you know, that's more traditionalist me speaking in that sense. But nothing wrong with new digital modes. They're a very good piece of kit. With that, I'll pass it back to you just in case there's a problem with the rig. Thanks again for allowing me to participate. Victor Echo 2 Mike Hotel mobile standing.
Yeah, very good, Mark. Well, you're 100% copy that time, no problem. And being in an underpass, that explains it all, sir. Nothing wrong with your radio whatsoever. It's all good. Thanks for joining with us. And being a traditionalist, I agree. CW rocks. Oh, well, it's all good. As long as people are making contacts and having fun, that's the whole idea of ham radio. So, very good, sir. Since there was nobody in Alberta and Saskatchewan, maybe they'll pipe in here in a minute. But let's also open it up to BC. Anyone in British Columbia this evening wishing to check in, please call now.
Victor Echo 7 Golf Delta Echo Jack. Good evening, Dennis, and everyone on frequency.
Yeah, and Victor Echo 7 Charlie Alpha Tango.
Oh, there we go. We got VE7 GDE, and we've got VE7 Charlie Alpha Tango. That sounds an awful lot like VE7 AM to me, but maybe my ears are playing tricks on me. Let's bring it over to Jack. Good evening, Jack. How are you?
VE3 Bravo Fox and everyone on across Canada net this evening. Doing fine. It's a little warm here in Nanaimo. I can't even talk tonight, Dennis. It's a lot warmer than we're normally used to. It's about 24 degrees, so feel sorry for us. But it's been muggy, so supposed to cool off a little tomorrow. As far as the legacy modes in amateur radio, I think they're all great. CW, I think, is a mode that's going to hang around. Not that I'm a very good practitioner of it, but I certainly would like to get my code speed back up because it was a requirement when I got my license. Having said that, I think it's whatever gets people involved with amateur radio is good by me. I think the more that experiment and play around with the different modes, the more healthy the hobby is going to be. Anyways, that's my comment, Dennis. Hope everyone has a great evening, and thank you very much for taking the net, Dennis.
All right, very good, Jack. While I've got you on the line, are you available to take the net next Wednesday? Over?
Yeah, I can certainly do that. I shouldn't be much trouble with it. Yeah, if you could send me an updated list of check-ins so I have a heads up of who has been checking in, that'd be great. But if not, we'll still make it work.
Yeah, I'll put one out to you, an email there after the net, and another copy of the preamble just in case. Thank you for that, sir. Appreciate it. VE7CAT, good evening.
Oh, boy. Yeah, okay. It's V7AM, but the call is good. It's V7CAT. I just got the call yesterday. I couldn't resist when the call came up. Having 3 cats in the house. So there you go. Good evening, Dennis and Annette. It's Mike in Vernon, BC. We had a high of 33 degrees centigrade here today. It's presently 30 right now. So needless to say, it's been warm here. Wall-to-wall sunshine and quite warm. And I think we're expecting the same for tomorrow. Doing lots of gardening, pulling weeds like everybody else. Trying to get the weeds under control. And the mold, well, yeah, whatever mold turns your fancy. That's the nice thing about ham radio or amateur radio. There's something there for everyone. Different strokes for different folks, but I enjoyed operating AM. I haven't done so in a while. The DW, so whatever turns your bank, that's the nice thing about it, Dennis. Anyways, back to you. VE3DF, VE7AM.
Oh, very good. Congrats on the new call. That's pretty good. You couldn't fool me with the voice, though, but that's very cool. Thanks for checking in, Mike. Good to have you aboard, sir. And 33 degrees, that sounds awfully warm for your neck of the area, neck of the woods, whatever. The Okanagan Valley, I don't know. I didn't realize it got that warm there. Anyway, good to hear you, sir. Let's open it up a little bit further here, see who else is out there. Let's open it up to stations outside of Canada. I don't see a whole lot. I see Sonny might be there, Junior might be there. That's about all I see this evening. Anyone outside of Canada wishing to check in, please call now.
9 Zulu 4, Juliet Charlie, Junior, Trinidad and Tobago.
W4/for Golf for Shella, Virginia Beach.
Two fine gentlemen there. Good to hear you guys. Saw your call signs on the node window here, so I want to make sure we could get you in. Good evening, Junior. We haven't heard you in a while. How's the weather treating you in Trinidad? Are you getting into the cold season there? Hi.
Good night, Net Control, VE3BF, Dennis. Good night to you and all the other operators on frequency. It's truly a pleasure to be here. I just missed out on some of the days. I think it was last week. I'm not too sure if it was the week before, so missed out on those last week. But I'm not wrong. Everything is going good. The WX here, the WX on my side is we had time to experience some rain. But a lot of sunshine in between. We are getting close to the Atlantic hurricane season. You know, so just have a countdown for June. We have a countdown for the Atlantic hurricane season here in Trinidad. You know, so we're expecting a little bit more showers, but you know, in between we always have a lot of sun in between there. You know, so it's pretty well good weather. Just enjoying it still, and enjoying this system fusion. I missed out on the hamvention. I wanted to go, but I had to take 2 flights from Trinidad to get there, and that was seeming too tiresome. But be sure to get it again some next time over.
Yeah, that would be a long haul for you, I'm sure. Lots of flying and lots of waiting around in airports, I'm sure, to make it to Hamvention. But you know, if you're a true ham radio operator, I'm sure you will do it sooner or later. Thanks for joining us, and glad you're not getting any snow there in Trinidad. Hi. And I hope that, the rain season is not as bad as it was last year for you. But I'm sure we'll hear you again in the next few weeks. Good to have you aboard, Junior. Thank you for checking in. And let's say hello to Sunny, Whiskey 4/4 Gulf 4 Sierra. Come on aboard, Sunny.
Good evening, Dennis. Good evenings for the stations, and good day to others. Yeah, I'm just checking in from Virginia Beach. It's 72. It's summer now. It's summer now here at Virginia Beach. So a lot of people, a lot of tourists already coming over. So with that, my 73, and we'll be on standby.
All right, very good, Sonny. Thank you very much for being with us this evening. It's always a pleasure, sir. Good to hear you. And it is 14 degrees here in Ottawa this evening, so nice spring evening. Summer's coming very, very shortly. I guess when is summer? Maybe summer started. I don't know. I'm behind the times here. Let me see. Is there anyone else out there outside of Canada wishing to check in? Please call now. All right. Any stations anywhere? This will be the final call for the Canada C4FM Weekly Net. Any stations anywhere? Please call now. VA3JPX, go ahead. I got a good chuckle out of that, James. Thank you for recording the net and making that available to those who could not listen to the whole thing. And so appreciate your efforts there. And, it's funny, I cannot get FT8 to work to save my life, but I can at least make a contact with a key. And that's just because I'm a Mac guy. Anyway, that could be the whole story of another net, but we'll get into that this evening. And thanks for mentioning Rob there. I did not see his call pop up on my screen, but let's give him a call and see if he's there. VE3RQB in Toronto. Rob, are you with us?
Good evening, Dennis. Everybody listening tonight. Yeah, it's a nice day out there today. Nothing really to report here. I don't know if you recall last week we were talking about mileage display on the screen. Your mileage does not appear on my screen, so I guess there's something messed up with yours, or possibly not messed up, just not working for you there, Dennis. Back to you.
Yeah, very good, Rob. Well, I see you on my computer screen as 336 kilometers, but that's the Wires X software that's doing that. The radio that I'm transmitting on here from my shack is an FTM 3200, and it does not have a GPS unit. So it will not tell you where I am. Only way that I know it is through the Wires X software, which I have on the computer screen in front of me. So that's not really a surprise. Unfortunately, it only works, or fortunately or unfortunately, it only works with the FTM 100, 400, the FTM 1, and the FTD2 handy talkies. I may have got those prefixes wrong, but the 1 and the 2 handy talkie, the 400 and the 100, and of course the 991 have GPS units in them, but this radio does not, so that's why you're not seeing the distance. Thanks for being with us, Rob. Glad to have you aboard, sir. Glad that we were able to get you checked in with some help from some of the other hams. And let's make one last call before we close down the net. This is V3BF looking for check-ins on the Cross Canada C4FM net. Last call.
This is VE3NQ, Smith Falls.
Good evening, Wayne. VE3NQ. How are you this evening?
Oh, pretty good, Dennis. So, I jumped in there a little quick. But no, I just woke up, was having a nap, and I forgot all about the net. By golly, as I've gotten the grass to wore me out. I fertilized the grass about 3 weeks ago, and I think it was a big mistake. Now I'm cutting it every day, it seems. Take care, Dennis. Good to hear you, sir. V3BF, V3NQ.
Well, you made me chuckle on a couple of things there, Wayne. First off is I just about slept through the net, too. I woke up about 20 minutes before from a little cat nap on the couch, and yeah, we get out there, we fertilize, we water, and we do all these things to the grass, and then we complain that we have to cut it too much. And if we don't, then we complain that it's dead. Isn't it great to be Canadian? Anyway, thanks very much for being with us. Always a pleasure. Thanks for putting a smile on my face. Well, gentlemen, and it's only gentlemen this evening, no ladies, but 26 check-ins. Good participation for an evening where a lot of people are grilling meat. So, as Jack put it earlier. Thanks to everyone who joined in, and I wish you all a good week, and best 73. This is Victor Echo 3 Bravo Fox closing down the net and returning the node frequencies, repeaters, and all of those good things back to normal amateur use. 73 off.